Hello guys, I slept around 6 or 7 hours. I feel pretty good. We're gonna microdose 50 meters of paracord into the Treenet, see how the Clove hitch works again.
We're gonna first wrap around our object, and when we come back underneath, we're gonna cross it over itself on our second wrap. As you come around, what you'll see is a definitive X shape. We're going to thread our line through the exact center of that X and then just pull both ends to tighten it up. If you've tied it properly, you'll see both lines in opposite directions with this diagonal line crossing over the two. To loosen, you just push both ends together and the whole thing pretty much comes loose. But if you want to make that more secure, what we do instead of the stopper is we add an extra half hitch onto that clove. Now this makes it more secure and more trustworthy, but it also allows you to undo your clove hitch whenever you need to because it's not going to bind up.
We added 2 ropes and now we're gonna add another one and we're gonna show you the clove hitch. So you always do the clove hitch on the static rope, the perimeter. And as you can see, all the normal ropes you cross twice or 3 times if you want to go back. So for the clove hitch, you go over that side and then you go in the cross like this. And that's the clove hitch. That's one at the top, so here at the bottom. Wrap twice. Top again. Another clove hitch here. Around. And come back here. Pull it through. There you got it. So that's enough. 3 ropes. Putting this on the head is already a good neck exercise and working the fingers. So we will chill a bit. Will be okay. We're gonna do a video of Jared Michael Thomas.
Alright, hello everyone. My name is Jared Thomas. I'm here at the CrossFit Nashville. Today I wanted to go over a few more concepts in regards to my universal flow system. In particular, they're going to help you develop more proprioception as well as helping you to make clear and concise turns. They're going to start to create a structure within our mind so that way we can actually begin to turn what can often be an analogous blob into something that actually resembles clear, defined flow patterns, things that you'll be able to grow from in the future. I have 10-pound steel mace, 25-pound steel club, and a 8 kg kettlebell. You can do these with any of these tools. You can do them with heavier weight, lighter weight. I typically recommend using lighter weights because that's going to help ingrain these movements into your body and particularly your brain, so that way as you get tired or as you decide to go up in weight, you can think less and move more and do so more efficiently. The first thing that we're going to do is just a few simple warm-ups here to start getting our mind wrapped around making real clean, concise turns. Now, as I've mentioned before, we generally want to make turns on 90 degree, 180 degree, even 270 and 360 degree turns. The latter of which, 270 and 360, will start to come over time, but at any rate are generally just extensions of the 90 and the 180 anyways. The first two are the ones that we really want to focus on, so that way your brain can do less thinking and your body can do more natural somatic movement that helps to get the flow state going, so to speak. So one of the first things I want us to do is going to be a basic hip hinge bend, okay? So effectively, the hip hinge and the way that we want to use it is a vehicle by which we're going to then change levels, going low and then high. Particularly when we're coming back up whether we're using empty, which would be no tools, or using a tool of any sort, that upward momentum is going to carry ourselves to a point where we're going to have a lot more options to turn, creating another channel of movement, allowing us to flow through, so to speak. Very beginning here, we're going to go ahead and just turn to the side. I'm going to go ahead and just let my hands rest down. I'm going to bend at my knees. Once I've got a pretty substantial squat going, I'm going to then kick my legs out and up, squat back down and come back. Down, up, down, up. Down, up, down, up. For those that are particularly interested in kettlebell juggling, this is also the same framework by which we perform the pendulum swing. So if I use just one hand from the side, and I'll turn towards you in a moment. Down, up, with the legs straight. Down, up. Down, up, down, up. Down, up, down, up. And again, you can go hands to the side. Down, up, down, up, down, up. Back towards you again. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. And then if you're using a kettlebell, down, up. That's the hard part, straightening those legs. Try to keep your chest fairly high and up, being able to look out. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. So not only is this kind of hip hinge swing a great way to start to warm up, but it's going to be a really important vehicle for us to start engaging turns. In the fundamentals of the system that I teach, Universal Flow, we're always going to have movements that are going to swing low, down by our hips and by our legs and our sides, as well as movements that swing high. Whether it's a throw like in kettlebell juggling, or even a mace swing, or club, you're going to have movements that go high, high, and then low, low. So as you started to get into this basic hip hinge squat and swing, boom, 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 boom. Once we start paying attention, noticing that elevation rise as the momentum carries us upward, we can then use that brief moment of float that again you'll find very commonly with the kettlebell very naturally to then make a turn. So in this case, I want us to focus on a 90-degree turn to start with, and then we'll get into 180. So if I turn to my side here, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to start with an away step. And I'll get into that in a moment. But effectively, I'm going to go down, and then once I come back up, I'm going to shift my hips back. To be an away step, I'm going to go down, up, switch, 90-degree step, come back, down, up, other side, come back, down, up, turn, down, up, turn. Because regardless of whether you're holding nothing or an object, shifting that to the side is going to then allow a channel of movement into the frontal plane. So that hip hinge swing is sagittal. It's down by our sides. We're in a CrossFit gym. It's very CrossFit-esque, okay? This is all sagittal. But when I elevate and I turn 90 and I have the momentum, whether it's my hands or a tool, all of a sudden I have this open channel to come in front of me, as well as that things can go behind me. Behind the back stuff is, of course, as you might imagine, more complicated. You're not going to really be able to have both hands as much behind the back to transfer, not quite as easily. Both hands can be in front from the side here, and I can shift. All right. So one of the earliest warm-ups we can do to start to engage this motion is by doing a hip hinge swing, having our hands come up, stepping back 90 degrees, and again, you'll notice it in your feet, in your hips, down by the side, pendulum back, and then step with the momentum to return from where you started. You'll go down, and this time your hands will go up, your hips will shift opposite. Down, back, and then comes with the momentum. Just real quickly, we'll do this drill. We're gonna go down, up, shift our hips, hands go back and forth, shift back, down, up, shift our hips, hands go down and back. Boom. 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 So pretty simple. You should notice on that elevation that natural proclivity on that step. Boom. All your energy is right here in front of you, and now you're going to shoot it off to the side as your hips shift. From there, that's going to create an anchor point. Everything is about your posture. I said this in earlier videos. can't say it enough. Everything we're doing is posture, gravity, momentum, drawing circles on clean lines. One of the earliest ways to do this are these lower swings that go by our side. So now, what is a with step and an away step? This can perhaps best be described and exemplified in a pivot. I'll go ahead and get in my sagittal plane here. I'm going to step back with my left leg, all right? Now, one of the things, again, my friend David Weckall, I will give him some credit here on having forward intent, head over foot. So if I have my feet nice and square here, but then I take one leg and step back, I'm shifting my head over to the forward leg. And, you know, if you're working on your balance here, that's great because you're finding that calibration of where you're going to have strength and power. But you will have more power as you shift to that forward leg and keep a forward intent. So if I step back with my left here, and I'm already starting to go head over foot over my forward leg. And you can do a coil, but just as well, if I've got, again, free hands, or I can have a tool here, I can swing forward, down to up diagonally, and then I can step with the momentum. Do that again. Left leg's gonna step back, leaning over that forward leg. I'm gonna step forward and I'm gonna swing across. From here, I can then just have my hands rotate back, coming down by the side, and then step back and across. And I can step forward and across, and then back and across. A couple things you're noticing, this is largely an underhand motion. If you were doing rope flow, this would be an underhand movement, kind of like a scoop, because you're going up, your palms, everything's driving upward versus going over. It's largely the same thing. If I come up and over the top, still the same thing. Over, 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 over. Or I go under, 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 under. But each of those steps, going back to the with and away, one is going to be a with step and the other is going to be away. Now, as you've also noticed, one foot stays planted, one's moving. This is why it's a pivot. When I do that first step, going from my left leg being behind me, I'm loaded over my right. I'm going to start low and I scoop up. This is with the momentum because the energy is being thrust in front of me and I'm stepping with it. Now when I rotate backwards and I step back with that left leg, I'm going away from the momentum. Because whether you're going left to right, I'm still throwing that energy in front of me. Throwing the energy in front. So if I step as it's moving forward with the momentum, it's called a with step. And when I step back away, it's called an away step. The first way to do that is that pivot. You can go underhand, scoop, 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 scoop. Well, you can go over. Same thing. Starting loading on the right. Over, 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 over. Just so you can see when I'm facing you. Step back, underhand, with, away. With, away. And then overhand. Over, with, over, away. Over, with, over, away. So this is just a pivot. You're staying in pretty much one spot. You're moving back and forth. And again, this is just all empty-handed. But what this is doing is it's exclusively working on the sagittal plane and it's helping us to position ourselves to not only keep moving forward and backwards, but then to also turn. Boom. So everything we just did just now was sagittal plane. Remember, sagittal is everything down by the sides. Or in the middle. Either way, you're cutting your body in half, bending over effectively. But we can do this same motion with the frontal plane. So again, I can also do an underhand motion with a 180 step. Now, when we do frontal plane, it's got to be a 180 step. And again, it'll be 90 when we switch in between the planes. To start, from frontal to frontal, it's a 180 movement. On sagittals, it's just, you're really just staying in a sagittal plane. You're not even turning necessarily. You can do a 180 with the sagittal, but we'll get into that later. So a 180 pivot from here, because we're not in sagittal plane, we don't necessarily, the head over foot concept isn't going to necessarily always be the same because you will drive forward with and be forward with it, turning all the way, or you'll come back. But if we're on a pivot, your head's going to largely stay where that pivoted leg is going to be. Don't worry so much about that. Make sure that you're making really clean turns. So I'm going to basically do the same thing on the frontal plane. We're going to do a pivot. My left leg here is going to stay in place as I perform this step. I'm going to go from my right to my left, and I'm going to do a low underhand swing. I'm going to go low underhand, step with. My hands are going to come back to the back just like they did before on the sagittal, and then scoot down and step away. With, away. With, away. I'm wearing shoes right now. A lot of times this kind of movement's easier for barefoot because you can even use it on your heel. Boom. Or you can put on the ball of your foot. I typically though, especially when I'm barefoot, I'll typically go on my heels to make that rotation. We can then engage this concept to then do sagittal plane to frontal plane. So for example, I can step back here, load up on my right, I could say scoop 90, then I can turn, and my feet are already in the right spot for me to go into the frontal plane. And then if I want, I can, as I go from frontal to sagittal again, I can turn and then step back. Boom. Again, start my right in front, scoop up, boom, turn, and I'm already basically right there, keeping my feet where they are, and then I can step back, rotate over. Eventually you'll step that leg back too. But in either case, you want to get really mindful of that frontal plane movement. I can go overhand, boom, boom, or underhand. Well, let's engage some of these concepts with some of our tools here. Start with the mace. Go ahead and do my hip hinge swing. In this case with the mace, typically you want to go down by your sides, but you can do it down the middle as well. Just starting with the hip hinge swing, out, down, back up, out, down, back up, out, down, back up. Of course, at the top, you can do switch if you want to throw it over. Boom, up, feeling the left, and switch every time, of course. You try to pull it in, nice and tight, switch, down, up, nice and tight, switch, down. Let's just go ahead and show that on the sagittal plane here. So when I say I start with the overhand, a little bit easier here. Got my left leg back, I'm head over foot over my right foot. From here, I can step with my left as I cast my legs out and then down. You're gonna watch your legs as you do this. Let's switch hands and back. Boom. 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 Just like this. Same thing. With and away. With, away. With, away. With, away. With, away. Now we can engage, for example, sagittal plane, hip hinge to the frontal plane. So I can go down by the sides, boom, step back. From here I can swing, and step back. Boom, down, switch. So we'll do a hip hinge. Boom, step the hip back, swing, back, down, up, down, up, hips back, swing. And then again, when we want to do our frontal plane, overhand, I'm going to step with the momentum. My left leg is going to stay pivoted. And I'm going to switch hands on the back side. I'm going to cast out, boom, switch, cast out, boom, boom, boom. So that way we can start to engage those turns. What you will notice again, you come up, you're going to have the opportunity to swing back. And that would be, my friends, one of the best ways to switch 180 on the sagittal plane. Down, hips back, swing through, now you're with. Boom, away, with. Hip hinge, away, with. Hip hinge. Underhand, I can do the same thing as what I just did on the pivot, but on the sagittal plane, I'm going to use my hand that's across my body here, which is my left. So I'm over my right, my left is step back, I scoop down, switch, down, switch, down, switch. Boom, away, with, What some of that is going to require out of you is a lot of rotation across your body. I would very much encourage you to use lighter weight until you get that kind of proprioception and that range of motion to where you're effectively like a tank. You know, a tank can move straight towards you, but basically be turned all the way out to the side. So we want to make sure that we've got a good understanding of range of motion so that way we don't hit ourselves on that low swing. So then, as you start to walk, instead of just going to a pivot, you can go step forward each time or step away every time. So we'll go with. Right? So I can go with. You can even start again, right leg forward, left leg back. We're going to go overhand, with, overhand, with, overhand, with, overhand, with. Or underhand, right leg forward, under, scooping up, with and away, okay? So as you're doing this, you should be able to get to the point where you're moving, stepping. You can step back, boom, and basically walk with this forward intent, going away, with, so on and so forth. Just again, as a little bit more detail, there's also double step, effectively, which is like a pivot, where I would go step, underhand with. One step is away, one step is with. Boom, 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 boom. Again, overhand, step. Double step because you're doing two steps for one motion versus the one. What we want to get to is the point where we're starting to step in space and do our turn. Actually, let me go ahead and do with, boom, rotate. And then I can step across. Boom. And virtually on any side, you can turn into that frontal plane. The idea here is that you should be able to then turn and then go back into your sagittal, frontal, what have you. All right? Once you get that 90-degree or that 180-degree turn on the frontal, and then you've already got the 90-degree steps, you'll be able to start to turn and then land, very crucially, land on any given plane that you want. So when we're stepping with, I can turn, boom, and I can go back and forth, and then you can sit here in what's called a whoopdiwhoop, or top switch, or a whoopdiwhoop, whatever you want to call it. The key part is that when I do this with the mace, I rotate my thumb forward, so the tail comes up versus this that we don't want, because this is going to potentially hit our face. Eventually, you can start doing things like that with the mace, but it's not really what we want right now. You put your elbow to your hip here, you catch that lower back, you let your thumb down. So it comes front. Boom in the middle, switch, boom, back. Boom in the middle, switch, back. Boom. Boom. And from the frontal plane, I can just use that to go turn, use my sagittal, hip hinge, step back, launch it, turn, step. Boom. This is how you go 180 on the sagittal plane. You've got to use that frontal to switch. Again, I can turn, and I can even hold my same arm. So I can turn, boom, and just make it basically a single swing without having to do the loop-de-loop in the center. So I'm just holding that same side. So I'm holding with my right, setting my right hip back, turning through, boom. Step. Step. You always have this option here. And all that's doing is just creating a channel of movement on the frontal plane or the sagittal. Same thing goes with the club. Right. Make sure you can pull that elbow in tight. Going in between the legs, good. Of course, kettlebell. Now kettlebell's a little bit harder because when you're doing your overhand planes, that's it. You gotta turn that handle where it's driving forward. In the most ideal sense, you wouldn't use the kettlebell quite in the same way. You can do your top switch easily. Make sure you know how to clean. You're cleaning, you're pulling it in tight. Remember our swing, our pendulum swing here? Boom, boom. Boom, boom. Boom, boom. That's tactical. Step. Good. Step. Again, just so you understand, a tactical plane is where you're going to come up with the opposite hand. Or a hand switch plane, whatever you want to call it. Boom. Boom. Pulling that elbow in. My wrist is straight. Knuckles are up. Over time, your forearm will get stronger. Nice and tall. Noticing that angle. My wrist is effectively linked up. Everything's nice, locked up and tall. Boom. Nice and tight. Elbow into hip. Switch. 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 What I love to do with the kettlebell from here though is to punch it across. Step. Step. You can step with it as it's coming up. You can hold and instep, or an step and it's coming up. Cross. Boom. 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 Little by little you will pick these concepts up. I want you to get really good at this top switch. Whoopdiwhoop. Start to step across. That's going to prepare you for travel. Now I'm just having fun, but the rain is bad, so I just want you guys to get an idea for that. You can kind of see what that would look like. Get used to this. Get used to this in stepping. Going with the momentum. This is stepping right into your swing. Going into your tactical. I want to expound more on some of these advanced concepts. We'll definitely have plenty of time to do that. Alright? But more than anything, guys, I can't say it enough. Even if you don't have tools, get really good at this hip hinge swing, elevating, switching your hips. I don't know if you've heard about it, like if you ever tried to surf, it's like you're on the ground. You're on your belly, boom, 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 and you go boom, and you shift your hips. Although, in this case, it's not that drastic. You're not on your belly. You're moving, boom, and then you're switching. And then driving. 180, 180, 180, 180, 180, rotate through, down the sagittal. Boom, boom, boom. Overhand. Overhand. You're 360 Maceswing. You're 360, right? Now you're 360. Step, step down. 360. Step, step down. 360. Step, step down. 360. Step, step down. The beauty of that doesn't matter what tool you're using. It does not matter the tool. I can even do a halo swing very similarly. Boom, boom. Boom. A little bit harder with the kettlebell. There's not as much of a pointy end, but there's the club. Step, step, high, low, 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 high, low. You're starting to see how over time all this starts to make it easier for you to explore transitions, like the behind the back. Everybody gets one. Back, behind. Alright. Back, behind. Just as an idea. So that's pretty much the gist of it for today. Let me know what you think down in the comments. If there's a part of what you saw today you want me to deep dive into, let me know. Trust me, I do read those, and I do appreciate your feedback. Thank you guys. Until next time, this is Jared Thomas, CrossFit Nashville. This is another lesson in the world of universal flow.
Hey guys, I warmed up a bit, took a break, and now we can climb this tree a little bit. Just take you guys with me, trying some things out. Hello guys, so I got the stick when I was walking and I want to do some movements with it, get the sharp parts off.
You can fly, but you'll never get closer to the sun. You may rise at the price of everyone else falling down, but I'm not going down with you. So you may rise, but you'll never make me wanna stick around you. Won't let you fire me, won't let you drag me down.
Hello guys, I rested a bit, let the blood settle. Gonna do some movement practice with the stick.
Headed into the storm.
Kids screaming in the cradles, profanities. I sleep while the ice covered in cross all the ones who hate me 'cause they wish me weak. I love everything. Fire spreading all around my room. My world's so bright, it's hard to breathe, but that's alright. Take my eyes open up this reality. Why can't you just let me be my way? I'm inside my own world of make-believe. Kids screaming in the cradles, profanities. Some days I feel skinny, then I sometimes I can't tell if my body I love everything. Fire spreading all around my room. My world's so bright, it's hard to breathe, but that's alright.